On this show, I've called out Trump and various other Republicans for some of the decisions that they've made and some of the things that they've done. Do you think I'm going to let President Biden off the hook?
Popular sports commentator on ESPN, Stephen Smith, went in on Biden after the president posted a campaign stunt geared towards the black community on his social media. Smith, who is a long-life Democrat, dropped some bombs on the president for his actions and insinuated that they bordered on racism and pandering to the black voters. So, what exactly went down? Stephen Smith goes in on Biden.
That is the kind of scene, that is the kind of imagery you and your team decided to provide? Really? Really? Sitting down eating fried chicken.
In a surprising turn of events, President Biden recently joined a black family in North Carolina for a meal that has sparked controversy and criticism. The dinner took place at the family's home, where Biden sat down with a man named Eric and his 2 sons. The occasion was captured in a YouTube video posted by the president's campaign, showcasing a seemingly casual and friendly gathering. During the dinner, the family picked up food from Cookout, a popular chain known for its burgers, BBQ, and of course, fried chicken. President Biden, in an attempt to connect with the children, ordered chicken fingers for them. However, it was the presence of fried chicken on the table that caught the attention of ESPN star Stephen A. Smith. Smith, known for his outspoken nature, wasted no time in expressing his concerns about the racial implications of the dinner. On his show, The Stephen A. Smith Show, he addressed the issue head-on, highlighting the existence of racial tropes and their potential to perpetuate racially insensitive narratives. Smith argued that the sight of black individuals, including the president, eating fried chicken played into these tropes and was not a good look. He questioned the decision-making behind such imagery, emphasizing the need for sensitivity and awareness when it comes to racial dynamics. Smith's criticism stemmed from the belief that certain foods, like fried chicken, have historically been associated with racial stereotypes. Their presence in this context could be seen as racially insensitive. Smith went on to make a thought-provoking comparison, suggesting that if former President Trump had recorded a similar video and posted it online, he would have faced intense backlash and accusations of racism.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we're being fair, if we saw Donald Trump sitting down in a black household eating fried chicken with a father and a son, what would we say? You know folks out there would be calling it racist.
He questioned why the same standard did not apply to President Biden, urging viewers to consider the potential double standards at play.
But if it's racist for him, why wouldn't it be racist for Biden?
While Smith made it clear that he was not calling President Biden racist, he aimed to shed light on the potential impact of such actions and the ammunition it could provide to those who view it as racially insensitive. This was not the first time Biden had offended the black community. During the 2020 election campaign cycle, the president came under fire for comments he made during an interview. During an interview with prominent black radio host Charlemagne the God, Biden made a comment suggesting that African Americans who consider voting for President Donald Trump ain't black. This statement has been widely criticized for its insensitivity and for implying that black voters should conform to a certain political ideology. Throughout the 18-minute interview, Biden stressed his long-standing ties to the black community, noting his overwhelming win this year in South Carolina's presidential primary, a state where the Democratic electorate is more than 60% African American. He boasted about winning every single county and the largest share of the black vote, even surpassing President Barack Obama's support among African Americans.
You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
The immediate backlash to Biden's remarks was swift and widespread. The Trump campaign seized on the opportunity to criticize Biden. In an attempt to contain the damage, Biden's campaign advisor Simone Sanders defended the comments, stating that they were made in jest. She clarified that Biden was emphasizing his record with the African American community and was comparing it to President Trump's. However, the controversy continued to linger, and Biden himself later expressed regret for his cavalier comment, acknowledging that he should not have taken the African American community for granted. The controversy surrounding the fried chicken dinner has ignited a larger conversation about racial tropes, political optics, and the responsibilities of public figures. According to Smith, such stunts were the reason why some Democrats in the black community were comfortable voting for Trump.
Some of the idiotic things that you folks do, the level of insensitivity, the lack of understanding, no wonder people are willing to vote for Trump in 2020 or 2016.
In addition to his critique of the racial implications surrounding President Biden's fried chicken dinner, Stephen A. Smith also took aim at the president's unhealthy food choices. Smith questioned why an 81-year-old man, who is not perceived to be in the best health, would choose to indulge in fried chicken.
President Biden, respectfully, I gotta ask you this question. What the hell are you doing eating fried chicken?
He further emphasized that Biden's health has been a topic of concern for many, making his decision to consume fried chicken all the more questionable. Smith argued that this choice did not align with the image of a president who should prioritize their health and set an example for the nation.
What 81 you know is munching on fried chicken?
He challenged the audience to consider the optics of a president indulging in such unhealthy food, especially given the existing concerns about his well-being.
You ain't been in the greatest health in a lot of people's eyes, you know. So eating some fried chicken ain't the greatest look.
There has been a lot of talk that the president could be suffering from dementia, a rumor that former President Trump has exploited and made fun of the president on numerous occasions.
We have beaten Biden. You could almost say, who can't? Who the hell can't? The man can't put two sentences together. He can't find the stairs off a stage. Who can't?
This is not the first time Trump is having a go at Biden for failing to find his way around a stage or even stuttering during a speech. While in Iowa, the former president left the crowd in stitches after mocking Joe Biden.
You know, so he walks off a stage, so he finishes his thing.
Trump was referencing the numerous times Joe Biden has appeared confused while trying to get off a stage after his addresses. One of the most famous times was during the 2023 UN Assembly, where it seemed he was confused trying to get off stage. But Smith didn't stop there. He went on to connect President Biden's food choices to his past actions as a senator in the 1990s. Smith reminded viewers of Biden's involvement in pushing the crime bill, which ultimately led to mass incarceration, disproportionately affecting black individuals.
This is the same dude who was a senator in the 90s pushing the crime bill. You know that crime bill that led to mass incarceration for an inordinate amount of black folks that Bill Clinton himself and others in the Democratic Party lamented? Well, who was more of a culprit in that regard than Biden?
He drew a direct line between Biden's past policies and the fried chicken dinner, suggesting that it added to the ammunition against him. By highlighting this connection, Smith aimed to underscore the potential hypocrisy of President Biden's actions and the impact they could have on his credibility. This is not the first time that Stephen Smith has gone in on Biden, citing his age as a factor that could lose the Democrats the upcoming presidential election. It is a disgrace for the Democratic Party to call themselves progressives when they're virtually begging an 82-year-old man at election time to run for re-election, Smith said on Fox. You're supposed to be progressive. You're supposed to be moving forward. You're supposed to be being innovative and younger and all this other stuff. And you're leaning on the hopes and the prayers of an 82-year-old who would be Joe Biden. According to the sports commentator, Gavin Newsom would be the best pick for the Democratic Party, despite his shortcomings. Smith described Newsom as articulate, forceful, and powerful. However, he did also mention that he wouldn't support some of the California's governor's policies, especially on open borders and national security. This is reasonable given the crisis unfolding in New York, which is a sanctuary city.
4 of the migrants accused of beating a pair of NYPD officers in Times Square are due in court today. Federal immigration officials say 2 of those suspects are linked to a violent Venezuelan gang called Tren de Aragua. The New York Post reports the gang is involved in robberies, drug dealing, and human trafficking across South America.
The streets of New York City have become a battleground for a brutal and violent gang known as the Tren de Aragua. This Venezuelan criminal organization has made its way to the United States, using the migrant wave as a cover to launch a spree of phone robberies that has left the city in fear. It's a crime wave that has struck fear into the hearts of New Yorkers. Robbers on mopeds, striking with lightning speed, snatching phones right out of people's hands hands and disappearing into the chaos of the city streets. But what many don't realize is that behind these brazen attacks lies a connection to a brutal Venezuelan gang known as the Tren de Aragua. In recent months, the city has been plagued by a surge in phone robberies, leaving victims traumatized and law enforcement agencies scrambling to find answers. These daring attacks have taken place in broad daylight, on crowded streets, and even in the bustling subway system. But what makes these robberies even more alarming is the sophisticated operation behind them. In one particularly shocking incident, captured on surveillance cameras, a 62-year-old woman was dragged down a Brooklyn street by a moped-riding bandit who snatched her phone and left her battered and bruised. All in all, one can understand Stephen Smith's worries with Newsom's open border and sanctuary city policies, but his bombs on Biden have drawn both praise and criticism. It is important to note that Smith clarified he was not calling President Biden racist, but rather highlighting the potential racial insensitivity and the ammunition it provides to those who may view it as such. This controversy raises broader questions about the responsibilities of public figures, the impact of their actions, and the potential consequences of perceived hypocrisy. But that is not to say that his top political opponent has not caught flack with the black community. Just recently, former President Trump was widely criticized for his comments about the black voting bloc. So how did it all play out? Trump's latest drama with the black community.
Tonight at a rally in South Carolina, Donald Trump actually said this.
These lights are so bright in my eyes that I can't see too many people out there. But I can only see the black ones. I can't see any white ones, you see? That's how far I've come.
Former President Donald Trump and his allies are gearing up for an unprecedented campaign to win over black voters in the upcoming 2024 elections. This bold move comes after Trump's surprising increase in black support during the 2020 election. Donald Trump took the stage in South Carolina, ahead of the Republican primary where he faced off against Nikki Haley, surrounded by some of the nation's most well-known black conservatives, with a message: he can secure a historic share of the black vote for Republicans. On stage with Trump were prominent black conservatives, including Reps Wesley Hunt of Texas and Byron Donalds of Florida. Also present was Ben Carson, who led the Department of Housing and Urban Development during Trump's first term in office. Their presence underscored the importance of this event and the collective effort to secure a historic share of the black vote. Little did anyone know that Trump was about to unleash what many on the left later termed as racist. Trump wasted no time in highlighting the astonishing increase in black support that Republicans experienced in the 2020 election. In 2020, we increased our share of the black vote by 50%, Trump said during his keynote address to the Black Conservative Federation. With a sense of disbelief, he shared that the polling data showed a significant rise in black voters who expressed their affinity for him.
You see what's happening? The polling's coming out, and they go, wait a minute, there must be a mistake here. They're saying black people really like Trump. There must be a mistake.
The former president firmly believes that Democrats have failed to address the needs of black Americans. Drawing from his own experiences, Trump emphasized that he understands the discrimination faced by black individuals within the legal system. This shared understanding, he argued, has allowed him to connect with the black community on a deeper level.
But I got indicted for nothing. That's why the black people like me, because they have been hurt so badly and discriminated against. And they actually viewed me as I'm being discriminated against. It's been pretty amazing, but it possibly, I don't know, maybe there's something there.
Donald Trump's claim that his criminal indictments are the reason why black people like him sparked a fierce debate among his supporters and critics. Trump's supporters have rallied behind him, echoing his assertion that he is being unfairly targeted. They argue that the indictments are politically motivated and a continuation of the witch hunt that Trump often referred to during his presidency. Many of his supporters believe that Trump's strong stance on issues such as immigration and trade resonated with black voters who felt neglected by previous administrations. We share the dream of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. He was great, Trump told the audience of black conservatives in Columbia. Every time the radical left Democrats, Marxists, communists, and fascists indict me, I consider it a great, great badge of honor, because I'm being indicted for you, the American people. I'm being indicted for you, the black population. I'm being indicted for a lot of different groups by sick people. However, Trump's claim has been met with strong criticism from his critics, particularly from the Democratic Party. Party. They argue that his assertion is nothing more than a racist trope that mocks black voters. However, Trump's mugshot and indictments could be seen as a symbol of authenticity. In a political landscape often criticized for its lack of transparency and accountability, the image of a former president facing legal consequences may resonate with some black voters who have long felt marginalized and ignored by the political establishment.
We've all seen the mugshot. And you know who embraced it more than anybody else? The black population. It's incredible. You see black people walking around with my mugshot. You know, they do shirts and they sell them for $19 a piece. It's pretty amazing. Millions, by the way, millions of these things have been sold. So I don't know if I'm proud of it or not proud of it.
The mugshot that the former president was referring to has caused a stir internationally. He is the first American president to have his mugshot taken. And while many celebrate this as a sign of a strong democracy, where even the high and mighty cannot escape justice, some criticize this as the president going after his political opponents using state machinery, something that only happens in third world countries. Standing in front of a gray backdrop, Trump glowered at the camera, his face lit from the side and from above. The image captured a moment of defiance, a visual representation of a man who had once held the highest office in the land, now facing the consequences of his alleged actions. The mugshot quickly gained attention and became a symbol of controversy. It was the first and only police booking photograph of a U.S. president, making it a historic moment in itself. The image was published by the Fulton County Sheriff's Office and soon found its way into the public eye. Little did anyone know at the time just how impactful this photograph would become.
This is an image that will be in the history books. This is the mugshot of the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
The release of Donald Trump's mugshot sparked a flurry of reactions and became a focal point of public discourse. Its usage extended beyond the confines of law enforcement, making its way into various aspects of popular culture and media. One notable area where the mugshot gained attention was in fundraising efforts. Prior to Trump's arraignment in April 2023 in New York City, his daughter-in-law, Lara Trump, predicted that any mugshot of Trump would become the most famous mugshot in American history. This prediction proved to be true, as Trump's 2024 presidential campaign seized the opportunity to capitalize on the photograph. Shortly after Trump's release from the Fulton County Jail, the campaign began selling merchandise featuring his booking photograph. T-shirts, mugs, and other items adorned with the mugshot became sought-after collectibles for Trump supporters. The campaign claimed to have raised a staggering $7.1 million since the release of the photo, demonstrating the enduring appeal and financial potential of this iconic image. Beyond fundraising, the mugshot found its way into the realm of internet memes. The internet, known for its ability to quickly transform moments into viral sensations, embraced the mugshot with creativity and humor. Memes featuring Trump's glowering face flooded social media platforms, providing a source of entertainment and commentary for millions of users. The mugshot became a symbol of controversy and defiance, with internet users using it to express their opinions on Trump's alleged actions and the state of American politics. The viral nature of these memes ensured that the mugshot remained a topic of conversation long after its initial release. The impact of the mugshot was not limited to the digital realm. It made its way onto the front pages of newspapers worldwide, becoming a visual representation of a significant moment in history. Many newspapers featured the mugshot prominently, with some even splashing it across their entire front page. Others opted for teasers, using thumbnails of the booking photograph to entice readers into delving deeper into the story. The mugshot became a symbol of controversy and defiance, capturing the attention of both supporters and critics of Trump. Its presence on newspaper front pages solidified its status as an enduring image that would be remembered for years to come. As Trump's speech echoed through the venue, it became clear that this campaign to win over black voters was not just a fleeting idea, but a determined effort to reshape the political landscape. The energy in the room was palpable, and the audience was left with a sense of anticipation for what was to come. At the rally in South Carolina, Trump boasted about his indictments, comparing himself to the notorious gangster Alphonse Capone. His supporters cheered him on, dismissing the charges as baseless and part of a larger conspiracy against him.
And I say often, Alphonse Capone, I don't know if you know who Alphonse Capone is. This was the roughest, meanest gangster in history. I've been indicted more than Alphonse Capone, Scarface.
According to many on the left, Trump is trying to pander to the black community and failing miserably by insinuating that they resonate with criminals. Apart from that, many are now comparing Biden's fried chicken stunt with Trump launching his sneaker line.
He is a liar, he is a grifter, and he believes very little about black people and what they actually have to offer this country, right? That, oh, so long as you get arrested and you have sneakers, those are the things that black people are aligned with?
Trump has in fact introduced his new line of sneakers. The former president recently made headlines at a sneaker conference in Philadelphia with the unveiling of his latest venture. Instead of a typical political speech, Trump took the stage to showcase his line of gleaming golden sneakers called the Never Surrender High Top sneaker. Priced at $399 a pair, these sneakers are not only a fashion statement, but also a symbol of Trump's larger-than-life persona. With an American flag on the back and a capital T on the side, these high tops exude a sense of patriotism and Trump's personal branding.
There was a big win for Trump this weekend, hours after he launched his new sneaker line in a surprise visit to SneakerCon in Philadelphia. The gold Never Surrender high tops officially sold out. No word yet on if the limited supply of $399 kicks will be restocked.
The timing of the product launch was particularly interesting. It came just one day after a New York judge ordered Trump and the Trump Organization to pay over $355 million as part of a civil fraud case. Prosecutors had accused Trump, his two oldest sons, and other associates of inflating the value of certain properties and assets for financial gain. Was the unveiling of the golden sneakers a strategic move to divert attention from the legal troubles and redirecting the focus back to Trump's brand? Was he trying to raise funds to pay his hefty fine, or was he just trying to pander to the black community, which is known for its love for sneakers? Despite the mixed reactions and the taunts from his opponents, the golden sneakers quickly became a hot commodity. Only 1,000 pairs were offered for pre-sale, and they sold out within hours of their debut. The exclusivity and the hype surrounding the sneakers made them highly sought after. Trump even took the time to autograph at least 10 pairs, further increasing their value. The online store where the golden sneakers were available also featured a range of other Trump-branded products, including cologne, perfume, and other sneakers. It was clear that Trump's name had become a brand in itself, and he was capitalizing on it in various ways. And this was not the first time Trump had promoted products bearing his name. From selling wine from his Virginia vineyard to offering a line of steaks through Sharper Image, Trump had always been keen on leveraging his brand for financial gain. The golden sneakers were just the latest addition to his repertoire of Trump-branded merchandise. But now, with the two leading presidential candidates being accused of pandering, who will win over the black voting bloc? Only time will tell. If you enjoyed this video, click on the boxes playing on your screen to watch similar content.